Have you ever been scrolling through social media, seen a video come up and thought, man, I can bloody make that? Well, chances are you probably can, but there's a few things you need to know before diving right into it. Hey there, my name's Trent and I am a part-time content creator based here in Brisbane, Australia. Part-time because yes, I still work full-time. I haven't quite made that transition to jumping into this full-time yet, but I'm on my way and I really hope I can encourage you guys to do the same. I jumped into the world of social media short form content about 12 months ago. So there's a few things that I have learned and I really want to get that across to you today. If you're watching this video, it's probably because you are considering doing the same thing. In this video, I'll use my experience to draw what to expect in the first 3 months of creating content, any challenges you'll find along the way, when is the best time to start, can you do content creation whilst working full-time or whilst holding down another job. So let's get right into it. If you're anything like me, you've probably been putting this off for quite a long time, but deep down you knew that it is something that you could do and it's something that you are probably quite passionate about. The key reason why you're probably putting off starting is that you're scared of what people think of you. What are my friends going to think? What's my family going to think? Because that's kind of what it was for me. It wasn't about, I didn't have filmmaking gear or audio equipment or didn't live an interesting enough life or I didn't have enough content ideas. Like I knew that I could do it. So what was my turning point into realizing that, hey, I should give this a go. I know I can do it. For me, I think it was probably what you're thinking now, like scrolling through social media, seeing videos, maybe it's on YouTube, and thinking, you know what, I can do this myself. Like I know I can do it. I know the content's there, the ideas are there. Why not just give it a go? And this sounds super cringe, but it's 2025 and there's never been a better time to start. Creating content is so accessible for everyone out there. And no, it's not for everyone. Not everyone wants to be in front of the camera. Not everyone wants to be seen online. And I totally get that. The biggest thing you can do, I believe, is building your own personal brand. Down the track, you can change, investments, you can change content ideas, you can pivot from different things. But if you have your own kind of base core following and people can resonate with you and your thoughts and feelings, I think that's just such a strong thing to have. And a lot of people will agree with me. Your content niche may not be as similar as mine. Mine is in the comedy, kind of nostalgic, short form reels and TikTok kind of content, because that's just kind of what I've been around and what I enjoy. A lot of the things that I have learned will still help you, whether it's, tech or gaming or streaming or any sort of other niche you're wanting to go into. So let's get into it. Can you start content creation whilst holding a full-time job? Yes, you can. If I can do it, anyone can do it. Yes, I am quite lucky with my role that I work predominantly from home, from this setup that you see here. I work as a video producer as well, so I'm editing a lot of video. That stuff can be done from home, and I know a lot of other jobs can't be done working from home. I get that. I go into the office once or twice a week here and there, like when I need to and when I can. So can it still be done whilst working full-time in an office or whilst working full-time outdoors and away from the home? Yes, it can. It can still be done. It's just going to come down to really smart time management for you. And as long as you have the passion for wanting to do this and get your work out there, that's what will set you apart from the others that end up trying and failing. Consistency is key. We've heard it all the time. Not every video is going to get millions of views and go viral. There's going to be some that tank. Don't get disheartened. End of the day, you can do content whilst working full-time. An example of structuring your time. You work 9 till 5, you get home, you go to the gym, you have dinner, whatever. Maybe you can work on content and planning ideas from, 7 till 9 on, say, Monday nights. It doesn't have to be an every night thing or every spare hour of the day that you have is going to be creating content. No, that's not realistic and that you're going to burn out. Maybe you plan your content during the week and then on a weekend you set aside an hour or so to film it. However you want to do it, healthy balance is key. We all know that. Another thing you'll probably want to do if you are working full time is batch creating your content. What I mean by that is don't just set up your camera on a Monday night and film, pack it away, do it again on the next Monday, because it's not a great use of that time. If there's potentially 2 videos you can film in one session, try and do that. For me, creating short form reel content doesn't take as long to film a lot of these videos. Some of them I can just whip out my phone on tripod and just film at the desk. If you're talking about YouTube videos, there's a bit more involved into that. You might want to script them out or at least have some notes here on the screen like I do. Whatever works for you. But I think if you can film more than one piece in that session, ideal. Best case scenario is you have a bank of content waiting for you to just schedule out and post. That's awesome. I try and do that to plan for when I have busy weeks. I've already got content ready, so I don't have to stress about not posting one week, but it doesn't always turn out that way. So again, find a healthy balance in what works for you. It may not work for others. Another point to working full-time and creating content is you don't need to be posting once a day or, twice a week, whatever, to grow. Yes, your growth may be slower. It may not be, but it could be slower. You might find that posting daily gives you a huge growth increase. For me, posting daily is not sustainable. I can't physically come up with that many ideas and film them all. So I generally post 2-3 times a week. Main point here is don't stress if you miss a post or you can't post every day, because it's very hard to do. When is the right time to start? It sounds so cliche, but in 2025, there's never been a better time to start. And it is true, because everyone has access to a phone that they can film. There's creators out there like Sam Sulek and people that vlog for a living have proven that you don't need the best camera gear. You don't need the best lighting and audio equipment. If the story is there and you can provide some kind of education, or you can provide some kind of reason to watch, the audience will come and they will watch your content and connect with you. You could have the very best cinematic cameras out there and still create shit content. So don't wait until you've got your hands on the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 that everyone wants, including me. You don't need that to start. Don't wait to create. The other reason why starting right now is the best time for you is because it's going to take a few videos for you to sort of find your groove and find your niche and find your passion and what you actually want to create and what's doing well. The first few reels that I made tanked horribly, obviously, right? Because no one's there watching it. I don't have an audience, and the algorithm is trying to learn who am I and what do I post and what kind of value I can provide to an audience. I said in my last video, for me, it took about 10 to 15 reels for me to actually go viral and get 1 million views on one, right? So it could take longer for you, or it could take your first one. Who knows? You could get really lucky, but don't then think that's going to happen every time, because I'm telling you, it won't. Another reason is it also takes some time to build confidence into actually, getting in front of the camera and doing things like this, or putting yourself out there and making fun of yourself. For me, 5-10 years ago, and if you told me that I would be making the content that I make at Trentos_Freshmaker, you can go and have a look and see what I'm talking about. I would have died if you were like, that's what you're going to be doing. Because I was just so worried about what people thought, and this isn't really a career option for people and that kind of thing. And now I'm like, I couldn't care less what people think about my content. End of the day, if you're reaching an audience and you're making millions of views, obviously you're doing something right. That's just part of the journey. I'm still a very, new creator. Getting millions of views, if anything, is just to tell me that I'm on the right track and I know I can keep going. There's a saying that someone told me once, that your biggest enemy will be someone who's the closest to you, and your biggest supporters will be people that you don't even know. Also, those first few videos, you don't even have to post about it to your family or your friends or your personal network if you don't want, to say, hey guys, I've just made a video, go check it out. Maybe for the first 5, 10 videos, whatever, until you're comfortable, you don't even have to tell anyone about it. For me, I made a separate Instagram account, which was supposed to be for me to just post my personal stuff and add my friends and stuff. So my friends were already following me by the time I started putting content out. But for them, it wasn't anything crazy that I was creating content like this, because they kind of know me, and it's like me, I'm a bit of a joker. It's like my personality. So yeah, if you're worried, just start a new account, start posting, and by the time they find you organically, you might have 50 million followers. Who knows? I've touched on this already, but what to expect in the first, say, 3 months of creating. For me, I think it was my 12th piece of content that I put out until a video actually did really well and reached an audience outside my actual following. What else to expect? When those first initial videos don't do well, don't think, oh my God, I've got to change my whole content idea. I've got to change from gaming to photography. No, it doesn't mean that. It could just be that, the algorithm hasn't worked out who to push your content to, who's going to find the most value with it yet. So definitely just give it a go for at least a few months. Another thing for me, don't compare yourself to other big creators. There's people that have been in the game for 7-8 years, or even since social media didn't have video format, it was just all photos. You can't compare yourself to people that have already had a huge audience. Everyone's growth will be different. It's the same as if you're a kid and you're going through primary school and you're developing, and some kids in the class are growing really tall and you haven't had your growth spurt yet. Everyone is completely different. And at the time, it might feel really hard and it might feel like you're doing something wrong, but you've just got to stick at it. Your audience will find you and something good will happen. What about some key lessons or some practical advice into the type of content that you want to create? I think pick something that you have a passion in, because if you don't, you're going to get to a point where you're like, I don't enjoy doing this, and you're just going to quit. It's really important to create what you actually want to create. In terms of editing and software and stuff like that, we all know, CapCut is a pretty easy one. I use that sometimes when I'm just filmed quick quick content that I need to edit when I'm like out and about. But because I am a video editor, I use Premiere Pro, After Effects, that kind of thing. So if you're not editing in that kind of software or you don't know how to use it, I would recommend it. Like Premiere Pro is like an industry standard kind of software for video editing jobs and things like that. But if you definitely don't want to move into that sort of work or whatever down the track, CapCut is very easy to use. I just find Premiere Pro probably has a few extra things that you can do, like if I needed to, but for the most part and most short form content generally, CapCut is more than enough. I won't go into all the gear and stuff you need to film. Honestly, just your iPhone is perfectly fine. Just try and use, nice lighting and decent audio. There's plenty of videos you can look up on how to create really good looking content. Another key lesson for me is try and engage with your audience a bit if you can. The first thing I struggled with was, yes, I could create reels and content and put myself out there in that way that people can click on and press play on, but I wasn't really posting many stories about me as a normal human. Like a lot of my content, people will be used to seeing me being funny and all of that, but no one really understands like the person who they're actually following. And I think that's a really big thing in 2025, especially because people are over all the overly edited and produced pieces of content. Like they want to come to social media to relate to you. They want to know what you do. What is your everyday? People have said 2025 is the year of the vlog for YouTubers, because I think that's people are finishing their big day of work. They're coming home. More people are watching YouTube on their TVs now than they are on their computers or something, which is what I've heard, which is crazy. But it makes sense. Like I do the same thing, which indicates that people are, when they're getting home from work and whatever, they're ready to turn on YouTube and they're wanting to commit to like a longer form piece. So if you're just making content that's 2 or 3 minutes, people are going to have to then find another thing to watch. And because of the saturation of content that I've spoken about in my previous video, people get decision fatigue. When you're trying to find a movie or a show to watch when you're sitting down with your girlfriend or your boyfriend and you want to turn something on to watch it, there's so much choice. Another thing is you want to encourage people to be able to, comment and like your work when you post it, right? But avoid trying to be too pushy with it. Like remember to subscribe and like all my stuff, go comment immediately. Whilst that can be fun and whatever, it can also be very annoying. I don't know about you, but when I'm watching YouTube and someone stops the whole video to be like, now's the time to press that subscribe button, go down and comment and like it's so off-putting and it's so desperate that I'll probably just click out of it, to be honest. So, if people like the content and they want to see more of it, let them follow if they want. Like you don't have to force it down their throat. Another lesson that I've found is when someone does comment on your video, like try and respond to it if you can. As a follower, if you're following someone's content and they reply to you, right, it feels good. You're like, oh, the creator's like reached out to me and, personally like commented back or liked my comment or whatever. So you want to make them feel special, right? If you can, like if it's as easy as liking their comment or responding to them and saying, thanks for watching or whatever it is, it'll just create such a more loyal following and it'll make them want to comment on your stuff next time. Moving into some challenges, challenges that you'll face. Probably a bit of burnout. If you're like me, you're sort of hustling really hard to try and get 2 or that, third piece of content out for the week. And then if you don't get that out, you might feel like, oh shit, I should have done that. Like I just feel really bad now. And, for the whole weekend, you'll be feeling like you haven't done a good job. And it's a really hard thing because you got to remember like missing a post or even like not posting for a full week, it's not going to harm your channel. Like people aren't going to all just unfollow you immediately. Even though it can feel like that sometimes, just try not to be too hard on yourself. Like you got to do what works for you. If you miss a post here and there, who cares? Like just post the next week. The other thing, and I still kind of struggle with this here and there, is quality versus quantity. If you have a goal that you want to get 2 or 3 posts out for a week and it gets to close to the end of the week and you've got 1 or 2 more posts to do, the quality of those posts are probably not going to be as good. So then it begs the question, well, should I have just posted 2 this week instead of trying to reach for that third and that being really shit? So for me, I do try and keep the quality to a certain level. After you've been making content for quite a while, I guess you learn what's better and what's not, or what's not worth posting. So, that'll take some time, but I guess try and prioritize the quality over like quantity. In saying that though, content this day and age, it's so throwaway. So if you do make a video that's really shit or doesn't do as well, forget about it, because like people won't scroll back and try and find it, or just, delete it later on if you really hate it that much, or archive it or whatever. So yeah, don't be scared about posting something that's not going to do well. Some of the ones that I've put the least amount of effort into have done really well. So you're never going to be able to tell. Another challenge, dealing with the algorithms. Don't get caught up in the numbers. Holy. It's really hard to, if you post a couple of videos that get hundreds of thousands of views and the next one gets like 2,000, it's hard to feel good about that. you know, and you'll sort of think about, oh God, why did I even post that? What did I do wrong? Did I mention something that people aren't connecting with or whatever? Some content does well, some content doesn't. So if a video tanks, try not to stress about it. Just like put it away and just get ready to create the next one. Making money from your content, brand deals, things like that. Don't expect brands to hit you up immediately and be like, oh my God, we want to give you money. Can you make content for us? It may not even happen in your first 12 months. I was quite lucky. My first branded content deal that I did was with Spotify. And then from there, I got one with Hard Rated, which is an alcohol brand. And this year, I'm hoping to get a few more clients on board to do some content for them too. But that may not even happen in the first 12 months. And it depends on what sort of content you are creating. So my advice would be just focus on improving your craft first and posting stuff that you really want to post. And then your audience and potential brands, they will come later. Is it all worth it? For me, it definitely is. As I said, it's something that I've put off for so long. I love being able to just express my creativity. And I've been creating videos for brands and other people for so long. And I knew deep down that I could do it for myself. And, you know, just the feeling of once you're putting your work out there and things that you're spending a lot of time on and that you really enjoy making, and to share with your audience, and the feeling of those videos doing well and getting like lots of really nice messages and comments about it. It feels good. It tells you that people like want to see more of your stuff. Who doesn't like being told that their work is appreciated? I think it's definitely worth it. And can you do it with a full-time job? Yeah, you can. I put up a question box thing the other week on my Instagram story asking my following, like, you know, it's 2025. What should I be doing different this year? Should I change up my content styles? And or what do you want to see more of, right? And it felt really good that like a few people would reach out and say, keep doing what you're doing. Like, don't change the content you're doing. I follow you because when I have a really tough day, I come to watch your stuff and I just want to be made to laugh. And it feels awesome that I can provide that for those people. So yeah, for me, like that definitely makes it worthwhile. And that's pretty much it. All I want to do here is just encourage you to just pick up the camera and film whatever it is that you know that you can do. Put it out there. See you guys in the next one. Bye.